This is a really cool jelly print idea. So just to remind you, a jelly print is this material here. It is kind of feels a little bit like a jello, but it's not. You don't want to stab at it. So we're going to take an ink, and I have right here a sheet of clear paper. This is what I'm going to roll my ink on. It's going to help keep it from making a total mess. Now you can use printmaking ink. You could try tempera or tempera paint for it. Tempera paint might be a little bit on the thin side. So I'm using my brayer and I'm rolling it out to make sure my brayer is nice and evenly covered, just like that. And then I'm going to roll it onto my jelly print. And if you have to, you can always get more ink. You can do more than one color and fade it into it. You want to make sure you get this whole jelly print covered though. Oops, look at me, I'm already putting my objects on here. So this technique is using objects. So my plate is colored. I'm going to use feathers for mine, but you could use other flat objects too. And I'm going to lay it onto my print however I want. Leaves work really well as too. I'm just going to lay it on here. Then I'm going to take my piece of paper. Make sure your name is already on your paper before you lay it down. I'm going to lay my piece of paper on top of it. And then you can use either your hand or a baron. So this is a baron, and you can rub it. Either one works. The baron makes it a little bit more consistent. And you're just going to rub it. Rub it. Make sure you get all the corners. Rub it really good, a few seconds at least. Then when you're done, pull away the piece of paper. And I have the negative section where my feathers were. But then, let me put this down. If I very carefully pull up my feathers, try not to get too dirty during this one. Let's see what happens if I do this very carefully, trying not to leave any fingerprints. Ooh, I have a little bit of a feather on there. And I take my next piece of paper, and I lay it back on top. Once you lay your paper down, you can't wiggle it, so make sure you get it right the first time. I'm going to take my baron and I'm going to rub it over top. Make sure you get it nice and good, all the edges. I'm rubbing and I'm pushing a little bit too. And then you can pull it up, and hopefully if it worked right. Ooh, I got my feather imprints a little bit on here too. So that would be considered a positive because now I can see my feathers. So that is one technique that you could do with the jelly print. You could also put texture plates on there and pull them up and then do it. And that's another neat idea. So if I rub my red back on here just one more time, just a variation of this. Oop, I might have to get some more red paint. Now remember, once you're done using it, you do need to clean it up. Do not leave any paint on the plastic, on the jelly print, or on the brayer. That is very, very important. And that's also courteous to your other classmates who are waiting to use it as well. That is part of the responsibility of choosing your own materials, is you are also responsible for cleaning up after yourself. So you're going to roll your paint on there. Oops, it's sliding around a little bit. I'm going to lay my feathers on once again. This time, oh, I think I put that down the wrong direction. I'm going to press with my finger on them just to make sure that they are fully on here. I'm trying not to get fingerprints all over the place though. Get it nice and on here. You could do this with the texture plate. Rub it on here. This time I'm going to pull it up before I lay my paper down here, and let's see what happens. Let's see if this works. This time I'm using my hands to rub it. Alright, so I got a little bit of an imprint. It might work better with thicker objects that you can press harder with, like Legos. That would be a fun one to do it with too. So that's one Gelliprint technique.